price of wishes. Jonah's world had turned to ash the moment Emily was gone. Every day felt like a hollow repetition of the one before. The sun rose, the sun set, but none of it mattered. Nothing mattered without her. The accident had taken her from him, a cruel fate that Jonah couldn't escape. He tried to move forward, tried to find some sense of purpose in the emptiness, but the void was too vast. His grief consumed him, an endless ocean he couldn't swim out of. It was on one of those endless, desolate nights that he met him. The stranger appeared like an apparition, a man dressed in tattered clothes, sitting at the edge of the alley under the glow of a flickering street lamp. Jonah had been walking aimlessly, lost in his own sorrow, when the man's voice pierced through the silence. "You're broken," the man said, his eyes dark and vast. Jonah paused, his heart heavy with disbelief. "What do you want from me?" he asked, irritation creeping into his voice. He had enough of people trying to fix him, enough of sympathy that didn't mean anything. "I want to offer you something," the stranger replied, his voice low and unhurried. "A wish, a simple wish, anything you desire." Jonah stared at him, skepticism rising within him. "A wish? What kind of wish?" The man's smile was thin and unsettling, the kind that costs something in return, a secret you've never shared, something buried deep inside. "But if you agree to the price, I will give you what you want." Jonah's mind reeled. What could this man offer him? It's probably some sick joke. But nonetheless, the one thing that had been gnawing at him since Emily's death bubbled to the surface. "I want Emily back," he said, his voice breaking. "I want her back. I can't live without her." The stranger nodded slowly. "Done." Jonah's heart thundered in his chest as the man turned away, disappearing into the shadows, as if he had never been there at all. The city was quiet, eerily so, and Jonah, filled with both dread and hope, trudged back home. Jonah awoke the next morning to sunlight streaming through his window. He felt a strange sense of disorientation, as though he had just woken from a dream, one that felt far too real. The events of the night before swirled in his mind like fog, but he pushed them aside as mere fantasy. But then, he heard it, a sound from the hallway, a soft voice. "Jonah." His heart stopped. Emily. He couldn't believe it. He jumped out of bed, his legs unsteady as he rushed to the door. His hands trembled as he opened it, half expecting to find the empty silence of his home staring back at him. But there she was, Emily, his Emily. She stood in the doorway, her figure bathed in the soft light from the hallway. Her features were exactly the same, her hair, her eyes, her smile. It was her. Jonah's chest tightened with emotion, and for a moment, he thought he might collapse. He reached for her, his hands trembling as he whispered her name. "Emily, is it really you?" She didn't move at first. She simply stood there, her gaze distant, unfocused, as if she hadn't even seen him. She blinked slowly, then looked at him, her expression blank, almost empty. "Yes, Jonah," she said, her voice a soft echo of the one he remembered, but without the warmth. It was as though she was reciting the words from memory, detached. "I'm here." Jonah's heart skipped a beat. "You..." He swallowed, trying to make sense of it all. "You're back. You're really back?" Emily didn't respond. She simply stepped aside, her gaze drifting past him as she moved into the room. Jonah followed, confused, desperate for a connection, for any sign that this was truly her. "Emily." He reached for her again, this time more gently, afraid of breaking the fragile moment. "It's really you. I've missed you so much." But she didn't look at him. She didn't seem to care. She just walked past him, toward the window. She stood there, staring out of it, as if something far away held her attention. Jonah's chest tightened. "Emily, please, talk to me." I'm here," she repeated, but her voice was flat, distant. "I'm here." Jonah stepped closer, his eyes searching her face. There was no warmth in her eyes, no spark of life. She was lifeless, an exact replica of the woman he loved, but nothing more. Her gaze remained fixed on the window, like she was waiting for something, waiting for nothing. "Emily," Jonah whispered, his voice breaking as the weight of it hit him. You're not the same." Her lips barely moved when she spoke again. "I'm here, Jonah." Jonah's knees felt weak as he stumbled back. His heart, which had been so full of hope when he saw her, now ached with a cold, gut-wrenching realization. She wasn't alive. She wasn't the Emily he remembered. She was just a shell, an empty image of the woman he had loved, hollowed out by the very wish he had made. "Why?" he asked, the word barely escaping his lips as he fell to his knees, his breath ragged with panic. "Why are you like this? Why?" Emily didn't respond. She didn't even look at him. She just stood there, staring out of the window, her face as blank as the glass before her. Jonah's heart cracked wide open as the truth dawned on him. The man, the stranger, had granted his wish. He had brought Emily back, yes, but not in any meaningful way. Not with the warmth he had hoped for, not with the soul he had longed for. She was just an image, a ghost. And Jonah had paid the price. He had been so desperate to escape his own loneliness, so terrified of being alone, that he had given up the one thing that could have kept him whole, a real connection. In his fear, he had trapped himself with this lifeless replica of the woman he loved, and now he was more alone than ever. Jonah sat on the floor, his back against the cold wall, his mind spiraling into the depths of his despair. He had wished for Emily to come back, to fill the emptiness inside him. But instead, he was left with nothing but the quiet, lifeless image of her. The one thing he had feared most had come true: to be surrounded by someone he loves and yet still be alone. He was always going to be alone.